Does this image look familiar? We all have enduring images that last a lifetime. For me, I was introduced to Ikigai probably, 10 years ago or so. And for me, it was the ultimate nirvana, the four intersecting circles, as you can see. That which you love, that which the world needs, that which you can be paid for, and that which you're good at. Seems too idealistic, right? And it is, because let's start with where our typical journey begins. For me, as with most of you, I'm sure, it starts off with what you love. The other three circles barely exist as we're growing up. And what I loved was soccer and music. But I sucked at soccer, I loved it. And music, I was reasonably okay. And that's all that mattered for many, many years. But then quickly, as peer pressure, parental pressure, realities of what you read about, hey, what's actually going to pay the bills, start to take root. And therefore, that circle of love starts to shrink. And you start focusing on the others, particularly on what you can be paid for. And as time takes hold, you start realizing that you may get paid for that. In my case, it was, I had to choose between engineering and medical, which is typically how most Indians back in the 80s were asked to pick the fork in the road. And I picked engineering, but I realized that I didn't want to do mechanical or electrical, and so I needed to get good at programming. So I started spending more time at it. So the circle of what you're good at starts to grow, but again, as a result of that, what you love starts to shrink. And what the world needs, hey, that's for somebody else. And then once you're in it, right? In my case, like I said, it was programming. So what ended up happening was I got good at it, I got paid for it, and that became my profession. And the other two circles, what I loved and what the world needs, kind of faded into insignificance. So, isn't this very familiar? Especially if you're good at what you do, those two circles of what you're good at and what you get paid for, aka your profession, is who you are. That's your identity. And then what you love, and most importantly, what the world needs, is not even in the equation. And there's a bridge that needs to be crossed if you want to go back to where we all started, which is the full circle of Ikigai. More in my journey later on, but this is just for starters. Enjoy.